everyone, welcome to my channel Cinder's Dream. I'm Ariel and I'm just here to check in with you guys for this full moon in Gemini, okay? So I want to really pinpoint what's going on with you health-wise, and I just really want to just check in to see, what you all have going on, how you guys are feeling, and all that good stuff. So I will be talking about the houses 1 through 12, and we will be talking about, the chakra system and how all of that just aligns and everything. So if you haven't checked out my previous video on the full moon in Gemini, go ahead and do so. Make sure you know your sun, your moon, and your rising sign so you can know which house this transit will be affecting, okay? So that way you can come back to this video and see how it's affecting you health-wise, all right? So in astrology, the houses from 1 through 6 is all about your physical health and asking yourself these questions like, why am I having these issues, okay, with my body or my mental health and whatnot. And your houses from 7 to 12 is really answering those questions, okay, for you. So with this Gemini moon, okay, Gemini is like that really, really fast communication, okay? Think about like a kid or a toddler who just says whatever it is on their mind, That's what Gemini is. So with the sun being in Sagittarius, Sagittarius is also about communication, but it's mature communication. So with them together, it's like a nice little balance, okay? So think before you speak type energy, okay? So that's the energy surrounding this full moon in Gemini, okay? So we're going to move on to each of the houses and, like I said, health-wise, how everything will affect you. Okay, so we're going to talk about the first house and the 7th house, okay? So they are angular houses, all right? So they affect each other. The first house is ruled by Aries, okay? So Aries, health-wise, is all about the head, the eyes, the teeth, even baldness, if you have any kind of baldness going on, acne, mental disorders, as well as your blood pressure, okay? And the 7th house is all about, you're like reaching out to like psychologists, your chiropractors, your nutritionists, your astrologers, and, just balancing all that you have going on, all right? So as far as the chakras, you want to really pay attention to your crown chakra and your third eye chakra, okay? So making sure those are balanced and you are really seeing things for what they really are, and you are in a clear mental headspace to receive certain information that you need to receive, okay? So in this time, you may be having headaches, you may be having to check on your eyesight and whatnot. So just make sure you're really paying attention to those aspects of your health and asking yourself those questions. Okay, like, why am I having these issues? What's going on with my mental health? Do I need to talk to someone? Do I need to set up an appointment with a nutritionist or a psychologist or whatnot? And just really making sure you're able to just balance those issues that you're having, okay? So now we're going to move on to the 2nd house. The 2nd house is ruled by Taurus. So the things that are going to be affected is your neck, your throat, your shoulders, your ears, your reproductive organs, okay? Because your throat is connected to your private areas, your reproductive system, okay? The 8th house, is the angular house with the 2nd house. So the 8th house is ruled by Scorpio also, with the reproductive organs and whatnot. So you really need to ask yourself, am I being satisfied, okay? Ask yourself, what do you bring to this relationship, okay? What do I expect from my partner, okay? What do I expect from my business partner? Is there an equal give and take? Is there an equal exchange in this relationship, in this partnership? And everything's balanced, okay? That's what you really need to be asking yourself. And the chakras, of course, that you really need to be paying attention to is your throat chakra, okay? Because you got to be vocal and be able to express yourself. And the sacral chakra, which deals with the sexual, reproductive organs and whatnot. And really just gives you that confidence to really just speak your truth and what it is that you really want in this relationship, this situationship, partnership, and whatnot, okay? So that's something to think about. Now we're going to go on to the third house and the ninth house. So the third house is actually ruled by Gemini. Okay, remember Gemini is that fast communication. Third house is also ruled by siblings, neighbors, and again, communication. Okay, so health wise, you need to pay attention to your lungs, all right, your nervous system, your arms, your head and your fingers, all right. Ask yourself, how free are you able to express yourself? And are you able to allow others to express themselves? All right. That's the question that you need to ask. So, with the ninth house being ruled by Sagittarius, remember Sagittarius is a very mature type of communication. So, people are going to be questioning, like, how are you communicating? The ninth house, just where is this type of communication coming from? Where is it rooted from? Okay, so the ninth house, health wise, is also about the thighs and the legs. So all of that is like stability. Okay, and also you need to pay attention to your root chakra. Root chakra is all about that stability, that foundation. So how is your sense of foundation with the way you communicate? Okay, so that's what you need to be asking yourself. So now we're going to move on to the fourth house, okay, and also the 10th house. The fourth house is also about that foundation, that family, the home, nurturing, all right? So as far as health-wise, it's mostly focused on your chest, your breast, body fluids, okay? The ability to express your emotions, okay? How are you expressing yourself emotionally? How do you see yourself in society and your career, okay? Because the 10th house is all about the career, okay? The career aspect. And your knees, your bones, your skin, and like I said again, stability, okay? So if you're not stable in your career, your home is not going to be balance, okay? And as well, if your house is not stable, okay, you don't have that emotional foundation, that emotional stability, you're not going to be able to progress in your career, all right? So the chakras to really be paying attention to is your third eye chakra and your solar plexus chakra, because your solar plexus chakra is all about that confidence, all right? So those are some things to think about. Now we're going to move on to the 5th house and the 11th house. So the 5th house is all about, your heart, your spine, your upper back, your spleen, okay? That heart, that sacral chakra, okay? And other houses that are in combination with this is also the 2nd house, the 8th house, the 1st and the 7th, okay? All of that is like fulfillment. How do you feel? The 5th house is all about children, romance, fun, playfulness, okay? So with the 5th house and everything, you really want to focus on your heart chakra, okay? That lightliness, that playfulness, that fun, and your sacral chakra is very important, with your sexual organs and whatnot. Make sure all that is healthy and, everything is flowing and going smoothly how it needs to, okay? Now, as far as your 11th house is all about your ankles, your blood vessels, okay? So you really need to pay attention to your root chakra and your throat chakra, all right? The 11th house is also about like those non-sexual relationships, all right? Friendships, social activities, okay? Responsibilities, all right? So as far as how that intermingles and goes together with the 5th house, you need that foundation with building a family, okay? You need to be friends with your significant other, your partner, okay? Everything is not always going to be about sex and whatnot. You really need to be able to navigate and move on in society, with relationships that are actually non-sexual, okay? How do you act in those type of relationships? Because at the end of the day, when we get older and whatnot, sometimes, we may have issues with our, being able to function sexually, and that should not just be the bulk of your relationship, okay? With the 11th house, and the 5th house, like, how are you able to cultivate these relationships, okay, without it being any kind of sexual things going on? Like, how are you in these non-sexual relationships? Those are really the foundations to actually growing the 5th house, all right? So remember, pay attention to your heart chakra, your sacral chakra, your root chakra, and your throat chakra. All of that combined, okay, with the 5th house and the 11th house all together, all mixed up, all right? So now we're going to move on to the last but not least, the 6th house and the 12th house. All right. So the 6th house is all about work and health and service. So the question you need to ask you is how well you serve your body, okay? How well do you take care of yourself? Because you cannot take care of others, okay, if you're not taking care of yourself, all right? So, body parts to think about in organs is, of course, the abdomen, the intestine, the gallbladder, the pancreas, all right? Thinking about what foods are you putting in your mouth and nutrition and how, well everything digests into your system, okay? Um, with the 12th house, it's all about service, okay? So, and it's also about hidden enemies and secrecy, okay? So, with this house, this is how well you're able to serve others. One thing to really pay attention to and think about, with this being such a secretive house, watching what you tell people in private, okay? Watch who you receive readings from and just keep it in the back of your mind, all right? That other spirits can listen into certain conversations you have and whatnot. So just really being mindful. There's nothing wrong with keeping certain things to yourself. That comes with you may have to go through certain lessons, okay? And that comes with the 9th house with Sagittarius as far as travel and that mature conversation and communication. Um, One thing you need to be mindful of is your crown chakra, your root chakra, your third eye chakra, and your solar plexus chakra, okay? So with these experiences that you have with the 3rd and the 9th house, okay, education, travel, communication, that's all going to help you with the 6th house and the 12th house all together, all mashed up, all right? And again, with the 6th house, you really need to know and understand what you're intaking, the nutrition that you're putting into your body. Everyone is different, and that takes time, that takes understanding, and just a higher level of education that you may not have received in your early childhood. And also understanding that, our bodies change. What you ate, when you were younger, you just can't eat anymore. So all of this is just houses where you have to just constantly keep evolving, okay? This is not something that you just want to just sit and just be comfortable. These are uncomfortable houses and houses that you just need to continue to grow so you can move on, in your lifetime, all right? So that's what I want you to remember with the 6th house and the 12th house. And also, combined with the 3rd house and the 9th house, which is Gemini. Okay, we're talking about Gemini, which is that immature, fast-paced communication. And then with Sagittarius, that kind of sits back like, hold up, let me think about this first. Those energies, all right? So I hope you guys, this made sense. I hope you guys got some kind of clarity from this message. Like I said, I just wanted to check in with you all for this full moon in Gemini.